James Charles back on the internet posting videos as if nothing has happened, allegedly deleting comments. Hope you're ready because today the tea is spicy.
Spice.
Hello and welcome back. My name is John. This is KUCKIAN's Courtroom and today we're going to be looking all at James Charles's comeback to YouTube after this huge child grooming scandal that's been sweeping across the internet. Right from the beginning, James Charles is a 21-year-old beauty YouTuber. Now, I'm not going to go into the whole backstory because I have already done that in a previous video like a week ago, and I've also spoken about James and covered stories with him for pretty much 5 years now, so do go and have a peek if you want to see any of the old ones as well. James has been getting blasted across Twitter and TikTok for posting a comeback video on YouTube and not actually addressing any of this drama that's been happening, which has been quite a big deal. So we're going to go through some of the comments that have been left on the YouTube. We're going to look at some evidence of it being deleted, and then we're going to go through some of the TikTok stuff, and then we're going to be talking about some other stuff as well. So in this whole video that James did, destroying my palette and turning it into paint, he managed to put an ad in the middle. He remembered to do that, but he didn't remember to actually address any of the stuff that's been on people's minds. So basically did a YouTube video, and I'll show some snippets on the screen now. We just broke one of his eyeshadow palettes apart, potentially the one with Morphe. So he posted the video on YouTube. We got an instant 250,000 views within the first hour at least. It was high performing as usual. James is on top of his game right now despite the scandal. It's very sort of generic James Charles, just like doing something and then finishing. It's just like the usual process, start and finish. That's why I like the John KUCKIAN channel, because we don't go from start to finish. We kind of do like a big zigzag and squiggles and circles in fourth dimension, and then eventually we get there. I actually haven't seen James's face in quite a long time, and he looks so different now compared to a few years ago. Really, really different. I don't know if it's the lips or the eyes or something, but he just looks so different to how he used to look. This was the final artwork, just for reference. It was a big picture of an eye. I remember when a lot of people do paint eyes and draw eyes as like a thing when they first start drawing, especially. It's a really easy thing to go to because we look at them every day. Let's jump into the tweets because people have been really angry that James did not remotely address the situation despite how much it's blown up. And since he originally addressed the situation in my previous video that we spoke about, more boys have come forward and said that they felt under pressure by James Charles to send him nude after he asked them. Again, at this point, these are just allegations. They need further clarification. I have to stress that, but there's been multiple people come forward to say that. The first tweet here, as you can see, reads, "You go, sister, keep pretending nothing going on," and then like a getting ill face. And this is in response to a tweet where James said, "Retweet to be the next video's sister shout out, destroying my palette, turning it into paint and painting a picture with it." The next tweet reads, "Why this still going on like he didn't just get caught sending nudes to minors just last week." That was from Daniele Keele. The next tweet from Bethan Beston. "I mean, you have with kids, but we're going to pretend everything is okay? Question mark. Now that's an intense one. I don't know about having with kids. I don't even think that's been alleged so far. Considering no one's even mentioned that at any point, I don't think there's any grounding behind that statement. I do just think it's a mean statement. So that is kind of worth mentioning. I don't feel like it's that accurate, but the energy's there, just going in the right direction, but just on the wrong road. Someone else said, "You got to be stupid to think we're going to forget what you've done this fast." In the replies to the tweet, we also had some more comments. Let's go through those and see what the internet is saying. Let's be honest, what he did was horrible and shouldn't have happened, but at least he isn't denying it like Tony, Andreas and Zoe. Someone said, "We haven't forgotten." The next person says, "Yes, we have. What did he do?" That was by MILF Kisser. Interesting Twitter name. The next one by Edward Gutierrez said, "I will never understand how people still idolize this person with all that he's done. But if it's someone else who gets accused of the same thing, brackets grooming, they get cancelled so quickly." In response, Joanne said, "You're clearly obsessed with having his notifications on," because the tweet response happened quite quickly. Local Ho said, "Addressing the situation before painting." It's kind of interesting just reading some of these people's Twitter names. Can I just say that? Like, that is a whole experience in itself. Forget the actual content of the video. By the way, if you're enjoying the videos, always be sure to smash the like button. Every time you do, a titty flies into space. So again, someone called ST, I don't know if that's for sanitary towel or like forward focus ST, I'm not too sure, said, "This you?" And then it's James Charles like asking for whatever pictures he was asking that guy for that was recently exposed, the whole thing. And then Sophia said he addressed it on Twitter. And then Big Bongo Congo said, "Yes, Queen James, you should paint a restraining order from children. We love sex offenders. Queen behavior." Wow. Now, can I just say, often on social media, people for some reason don't keep the same energy against child groomers that they do with things like racism and stuff like that. And I think it's just as serious of an issue. And James is actually someone in the past who has supported people that have had grooming allegations against them without having seen or known any of the evidence behind it. So I do just have to say, I'm enjoying the energy that's carrying through here. I don't necessarily endorse the comments that don't have any grounds, like accusing them of having sex with children, but the general energy that's going towards him, I'm actually very appreciative. I think it's the young generation, because a part of me does sometimes feel frustrated that the slightly older generation doesn't carry that same energy through. They say, oh, child grooming, that's a taboo subject, we're not going to talk about it. And that just makes it worse, and that aggravates me because we want to solve the issue, not bury it. So anyway, now we're going to go to TikTok. Extra juicy, extra spicy. One of the top comments on James's TikTok was, hey bestie, you gonna ignore what you did, or... Quite controversial. Now, James had controversial in the past. I'm sure he said he did a TikTok with someone that was a smaller channel TikTok page, and he said something about like thinking someone was really cute or having messed around with someone that he filmed a TikTok with. There was something like that he said, and this person was really uncomfortable because I think they went out or something like that. Maybe they were straight, or maybe they didn't want to be around that energy. They didn't endorse it, like not gay energy, but generally being in a relationship with James or messing around with James, and they kind of denied it after it happened. But it was kind of a little bit awkward. And when you think about that, it does make you question, right? If all these kids are coming through saying, you know, James has put me under pressure to send nudes, I can't say if any of them are true, but what I have seen is someone block James Charles and having had a conversation where James has asked that person for nudes, and then we've then seen a live stream of something similar, right? So with that being said, what about the boys that James is collabing with on TikTok? Bear in mind, TikTok is a young demographic. We're talking generally a lot of the platform is 13, 14, 15, right? What about those young boys that want to collab with James? What kind of sexual pressure are they under? Because James is very comfortable putting his own followers and young kids that look up to him under that kind of sexual pressure. This isn't complete strangers. This isn't a dating app, James asking someone for nudes. This is specifically multiple people who follow, support, and are obsessed / inspired by James Charles that he is asking for nudes from and engaging in that sort of sexual relationship with, right? Without them wanting to. So some more comments from the TikTok. So we just act like nothing happened. Another person said, I didn't know James Charles was an artist. Omar said, are you going to ignore what you did just like your last scandals? And then someone said, I'm guessing you just got away with it, which is concerning. My whole thing with the last few TikTok comments here is people only get away with things if you let them, right? And people manage their propaganda. So James, for example, pretending nothing has happened and posting a video, and then if he does eventually post the video, I feel like it's going to be typical James Charles PR management, where he's sort of like, oh, I've been really upset by this, but this isn't about me, and I'm just going to say this, I was really suicidal and I was really stressed out, but this is not about me. I'm going to check ID because I didn't know this was happening. My whole issue with whatever apology James gives is it's not going to be the actual thing that he's apologizing for, right? Because this isn't the first time this has happened. There's been multiple people come forward and the previous scandals. James even said himself, fool me once, you know, you fool me twice, I'm an idiot, whatever the phrase is. So my whole thing is James is still consciously making the decision to almost in a predatorial manner pursue minors, right? And ask them for nudes and ask them for photographs. And he claims he doesn't know their age, but most of the people he's messaging do look very young. And it seems like there's a lot of people. It's not like I can count on one hand how many people in the past 12 months I've asked for nudes from, okay? In fact, I can probably do 2 years as well, maybe 3. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not an everyday thing, but you message someone that you don't know and you just added like, hey, send me some nudes, like flex and show me your hair. What? So that's just something to mention, right? For perspective. So now on the screen, I'm going to show you a very short video. This was taken from Twitter from a user called Jen, and it looks like a generic username. It could be one of Jeffrey's paid accounts that he allegedly, there was his ex-hairstylist said that he was paying people to run hate accounts against people that he didn't like. So say, for example, me, James, Tati, whoever else he's fallen out with this second. But the account did post this video, which just provides some context, and it shows scrolling through the comments on YouTube, clicking on them, and it's saying this is unavailable. Now, this can be for a few different reasons. Sometimes I do have to say this, there can be a glitch in the YouTube system, and I have seen this before. That is one reason. But that's usually only with 1 or 2 comments. If a lot of comments get that, but not all comments, it is usually because they're being deleted, right? Because when you go onto the YouTube video and it loads the comments are there from being loaded, say, for example, 5 minutes ago. If they've then been deleted, it's not going to automatically delete them from your live view. It's only going to delete them if you refresh the page, or if you try and click on them, it won't load them and show what people have replied because that's not there anymore, right? So it does look like James is heavily moderating his comments, which is a strange tactic. Like, I'm not against moderation. I have an opinion on that and I'll show you afterwards. But my whole thing is he's just been involved in this huge scandal, which shows recurring behaviour, which is very concerning to do with the safety of minors. And he's just blasting over it like nothing's happened because he wants to stick to his posting schedule. I think James, you know, is often the case. The world isn't fair. There's plenty of people that work their asses off and don't get anywhere. But James went in with the right sort of sociopathic, parasitic attitude at the beginning of his career, and I'm sorry to say it so bluntly, but that's how I would describe it. And that's how he grew to fame. You know, he stabbed Thomas Halbert in the back, faked a ring light scandal, you know, made friends with Jeffrey, fell out with him, made friends again, fell out with him again. And it's just a continuous succession. There's no backbone, there's no moral high point, there's no code of ethics. It's really just how much can I make, how much can I grow, and that's why he's done so well. Law of attraction. But guess what? The respect level is, I think it's sad seeing how he's hurt people in the industry, like coming after Marlena, one of the owners of Makeup Geek, whose brand was struggling quite publicly a while ago. She scored a section in a Netflix documentary talking about the makeup industry. Bear in mind, she's been in it for 10 years. And James, 19 years old, starts atting Netflix and kicking off like, oh, how dare you take this? Like, ask someone credible like me. And it's like, Brave, been in the game for like 2 years. Do you know what I mean? And just stuff like that generally. He's been very arrogant. So the caption, which I'll read to you now, was, and he's quick to delete all the comments talking about the situation. Yikes. Notice when I tap on a comment talking about the situation, it says error, while I can see the replies to the other comments. What do you think about this situation? I'm going to give you my closing thoughts. I think this is a very serious situation. And I think if it was just this one boy, that would be one thing, like last time with the Tati situation when she came forwards. But considering since that has happened, it appears that this has happened with many more boys. It shows a pattern of behaviour, almost like a habit of James behaving in a predatorial manner towards minors, and that is an issue. I absolutely think that's something that should be spoken about, and I think that's something that shouldn't be swept under the rug. There are various smaller scandals that people kind of get away with and they kind of sweep them and they move past them, but this is one of those things I think it's right for people to keep their energy on. And I think I'm very proud of the younger generation that watch James Charles, because I do think it's mostly, a lot of the time, very young kids that watch him. I'm proud of them for really carrying through this social awareness and this energy towards saying no to this and expecting them to really work through the issue, because previous generations would just sort of look up to the influencer and not question them, whereas people are literally saying to him, this is not acceptable, right? So that's just something worth mentioning as well. I want to know what you think about this because this is an ongoing scandal. And that's it for today's video. So I really hope you enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun. I have got a new tech channel called KUCKITECH. I'm going to link it down below. I also have an ASMR channel, which I'm going to leave in the description box down below. And I have some house renovation stuff coming very soon. I've been filming for it for like ages. So that's really exciting. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.